lots of thoughts trying to come out at the same time. But,
Writer and is a great comedy writer behind the TV series Father Ted, amongst others. Graham Linehan, he's been arrested at London's Heathrow Airport over 3 social media posts that shared his views on trans rights. He's been on this program talking about this very issue. He posted on X, trans-identified male is in a female-only space. He is committing a violent, abusive act. Make a scene, call the cops. And if all else fails, punch him in the balls. The chief political writer for Spiked Online, Brendan O'Neill, has weighed in on this arrest. It's causing all sorts of headlines in the UK. Brendan wrote, Graham Linehan was arrested by armed police at Heathrow Airport today. He was thrown in a cell. He was interrogated over his gender-critical beliefs. He was grilled on why he doesn't accept that someone can be born in the wrong body. He was bailed on the condition that he doesn't go on X. The stress of this tyrannical experience was so great that he was briefly hospitalised. This is a effing outrage, a shameful day in England's history. I've got to agree with that, Dan. It is an absolutely shameful day. You've got a comedic genius amongst one of the bravest individuals in the entertainment world to actually speak out at great personal cost, and he's been arrested and put through such an ordeal that he's hospitalised.
Yeah, well, I mean, what's happening in England now is an absolute tragedy in so many different ways. I mean, you know, England has been the home of the ancient rights and liberties that have been passed down for generations, including to our country, and to see what is happening there, and it looks like it's only going to get worse. I mean, it seems every single week it gets more and more absurd, and you just wonder, well, what's going to happen next when you're actually getting people locked up in a prison cell for things that they are saying is just the next level of what's happening there. And unfortunately, with the current political leadership there, it's only going to get worse. I can't see how they get out of it in the near term.
Well, one advantage they have is that the voters will have a choice at the next election. You've got Reform leading the polls, and they will reverse course on all this. I reckon we're in a worse situation in this country because we've got the same madness, but we don't have a real opposition willing to tackle it and dismantle it. So I would argue Australia is in a more dangerous position than the UK right now. Dan Wilde, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you.
Right, so here we are. Graham Linehan, the man who wrote Father Ted, one of the most revered British programmes to have ever existed, is now public enemy number 1 because he said a few nasty things on Twitter and knocked a phone out of somebody's hand. It's Monty Python meets North Korea. Think about it, you can have machete gangs roaming in London, burglars ignored up and down the country because police are telling you they don't have the resources, but to call a trans activist a deeply disturbed sociopath on social media, boom, 5 armed officers at Heathrow, straight out of line of duty, and now it's harassment and criminal damage because he swiped a phone. Criminal damage, and if that counts, then every dad who's ever dropped the telly remote should be doing porridge in Belmarsh. Meanwhile, let's look at the double standards. Activists can chuck crickets into women's conferences, scream down speakers, block roads, vandalise RAF bases, and somehow that's protest. But if Linehan's posts something a bit spicy online, suddenly it's a matter for Westminster magistrates. Suddenly it's terrorism by tweet. And what about free speech, the right to say something other people don't like? Apparently it's been downgraded to a thought crime. Challenge the new religion of gender ideology and you don't get cancelled, you get carted off. The whole thing stinks of political policing. If you're on the approved side, you can do what you like. If not, you better keep your gob shut or face the wrath of the law. And let's not forget the irony. Linehan wrote comedies, Father Ted in the RT crowd, stuff people laughed at for decades, and now he's in court for saying things that upset the professional offence takers. You couldn't script it. Here's the truth. It's not really about Graham Linehan at all. It's about control. It's about silencing ordinary people who see through this nonsense. And if they can drag a famous comedy writer through the mud for tweets and a phone slap, what chance have the rest of us got? Britain 2025, where the jokes write themselves, but you'll be prosecuted if you tell them.
Good day, sir!
You're still here? Well. This is what being right wing must taste like. If you want to subscribe to Just Jake, subscribe over there. And if you want to watch more videos from whatever the hell this is underneath it,